This is February 11th, 2021. I'm Commander JN Trax, and I drink my red wine from a glass with a very tall stem. And this is the Loose Screws podcast.
What?
I told you, I never do it the same way each time. I wasn't making that up. So, with me tonight is Commander Chig.
You know, I just want to say this. 100 years ago, everybody had a horse and only the rich people had cars. Nowadays, everybody has a car and only the rich have horses. Man, how the stables have turned.
Oh. The horses have done it right. Now we haul the horses around in cars.
So
Chig, that joke was just for Trax.
Make it stop.
It was perfect.
Just for
do
him.
you personally recall those times? Like, you were there, right?
I was going to open that joke. I thought about opening that joke talking about, I'm so old. I remember 100 years ago when horses were everywhere.
Yeah.
But I decided to leave that low-hanging fruit for Dubs. All right, carry on.
And then, more importantly, then you remember that I'm older than he is.
Yeah, nobody's on your case yet. You keep your mouth shut and it might stay that way.
Still going to give
anyway,
Chig shit for being old.
That's Commander Dubs over there, who's also here. Hello.
Howdy.
Also here with us is Commander Lieutenant Commander Data. I don't know why I can't get that into my head.
I thought I was going to have to correct you. Doing good.
Commander
Full of youth and vitality and vigor.
Excellent.
Holy crap, you went with an old joke too? Jesus. It's one of those nights.
Thought you would have
Or is
forgotten
it a young
the first
joke?
one. Thought you would have forgotten the first one by now, so we had to make it up.
Is it a joke? No.
Nurgle, you're flying under the radar. Just let it be.
Nurgle is also here, trying to make himself known for some reason.
Yeah, let them beat me like a pinata, dude.
Yeah, and I drink my whiskey out of a short round glass, so we balance.
All right. And also tonight, Commander Tyrval, Ty Worsham, welcome, sir.
I'm over here waving like people can actually see me.
Smile and wave, boys.
I just did the wave with you, like I'm in a stadium. I stood up and raised my arms. But
in sequence, we'll all do it.
Yeah, we all have to do it.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
This is going to be a good one, you guys. There's somehow a lot and also nothing at all going on in game right now. It's kind of an amazing thing. Where to start? I guess we'll keep it tame to begin with. Guess what? We're still on an expedition for the foreseeable future. We're all still out in the black, thoroughly ignoring everything that's going on in the bubble. And possibly that's why we keep forgetting to talk about all the Q&A things. But anyway, probably not
Q&A.
more on that in a bit. Anyway, comments and concerns and accolades about the Distant Screws expedition. I personally have made it to Colonia, and I'm now milling around trying to find stuff to do during the podcast instead of jumping.
You're patiently waiting for Lark
special
Shadow
events
to show up so you can murder him?
Yes, well, I wait for Lark Shadow to show up so that we can duel. I did test my my exploration Cobra in res site and very quickly made about 2 million credits.
Nice.
So she's doing fine. On that
Colonia
How's
prices,
everyone else doing?
Yeah, Colonia prices, that plays for what? 20 tons of tritium.
Honestly, let's go around the table because I want to know where people are.
Yeah.
In there. Dubs, where are you at right now?
Me. Well, I'm definitely not 2 waypoints behind with my fleet carrier right now. Yeah, I haven't been on the game a
Okay,
whole lot.
no, stop for 1 second. Why are you 2 waypoints behind? What distracted you? You were so on schedule that something had to have happened.
No good can come of this.
I don't know. There's a lot of things, but I don't know. I just haven't been getting on in the afternoon, but I have been on to do a little bit of exploring. Just not a whole lot for mining and moving the carrier. But I'm going to catch up tonight. I'm going to make 2 waypoints over the course of this podcast, maybe.
Okay.
If
you're just trying to get back on schedule, so you're to Evelyn's on the 26th.
Yeah. I got me a 5-day weekend, so I got lots of time to practice to explore.
Nice.
Okay. Where are you at, Data?
I'm pretty much staying on schedule. I just got to Friday's waypoint just a couple of minutes ago, so I am.
So are you by like Volt's carrier and stuff that's on schedule?
I don't see anyone else's carrier here. I'm at waypoint 11, the Cat's Perch Nebula, scootering around.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
How about you, Nerds?
I'm definitely not 2 waypoint behinds stuck on Dub's carrier. Definitely not.
Well, if you're riding with me, we'll be at waypoint 10 in a little bit, and then we're moving on. Well, 11 is actually tomorrow's waypoint.
Yeah.
So
this is your chance to be ahead.
I guess I'm only 1 waypoint behind. Really, I'm not as bad off as I thought I was.
I've never
For a few
asked
hours.
If you're on a carrier that hits a waypoint, you don't get credit for it unless you get off, scan the system, and jump back on the carrier, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so you need to be paying attention.
Well, that depends on what EDMC sends up, because EDMC still recognizes that you entered the system.
Does it really?
You just have to log in, I think.
Yeah, if you log in.
I think
so. As long as you're logged in the game, you can do an entire expedition on a carrier.
Yes, so it doesn't count for your engineers. So if you're doing the 5,000 light year thing on a carrier, you have to make a hyperspace jump, or else it doesn't log it. But if you're just doing the EDMC thing for the EDSM waypoints, then yes, just being in system counts.
Now, this, kids, is one of those examples of a person who has played a gazillion hours in this game and did not know those rules. So that's good information. Well, like at every waypoint I hit with my carrier, I made sure to jump off, scan the system, and jump back on my carrier before I jumped again because I was afraid it wouldn't count. So now I know.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. Who else? Ty, we know you're not on the expedition, correct?
So there's a story with that. So the other day I thought, you know what? I bet you.
Story time with Ty.
I know. I bet you.
Wait, I still have the sounds. Hold on. I haven't tried to play them in so long.
It'll take him an hour to find it. Jesus. Vamp data. The sound went away.
Yep.
Old Man Ty has another story to share.
I'm sorry. I couldn't. It'll be on the recording, but wait. It won't because of stupid Craig. I didn't have time to flip my settings over the right way. Oh man!
Wait. We got blips of
opportunity.
Hold on, for real. I fixed it.
Okay.
Gather round, children. Old Man Ty has another story to share.
There we
Brilliant.
go.
Yay!
All right, so that only took us twice, so I can see things are getting better around here. No, okay, so what had happened was I got it in my head to, like last week, I thought, I bet I could catch them. And I thought, all I got to do is catch up with one of their fleet carriers. So I went and found where the boat was. And I set a course and I started going. I got about 1,000 light years out. And then like 2 days later, my sister calls me and says, hey, so when you want to do your nephew's birthday? And I was like, I don't know, whenever you're doing the party, it's your son. You tell me when to be there. That's how this shit works,
Yeah.
So then she then calls me back. Like we talk about it a little bit. She says, well, I'll let you know and call you back. So next day she calls me back, says, so we're going to do it Friday the 26th. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll be there. And then right as I hung up the phone, I thought, oh shit. So then I went and looked, and then sure enough, yeah. So right now I'm on the way back. I'm currently in Droje Mubi B94, and I am on the way back to the bubble. So
well, I mean, you can still ride the boat there.
I'm not even close to. I'm actually closer to home than I am closer to the bubble, or closer to home than I am to closer I am to the boat. So anyway, I feel bad. I'm going to end up missing it, but he's getting a. He doesn't listen to the show anyway, so I don't know why I'm getting him this, but I'm getting him a Oculus. So he's super excited about it.
Hey, Uncle Ty, I could use a new Oculus.
Favorite, yeah.
I could use a
Favorite
backup
uncle status.
Oculus.
No,
I could use a backup Oculus.
You're always my favorite, Ty.
Get me another ultra widescreen monitor while you're at it.
Oh my
We're not allowed to buy Chig any more monitors. Any monitors we buy are going to Izzy. She's working with old hand-me-downs.
All right, so as a recap, Ty went to go on the expedition and ran into real-life problems where he had to jump back. Nurgle is just being lazy and riding on Dubs' thing. Data is, well, he's doing his thing. Me and Trax are in Colonia, and Dubs is, well, he's slacking. So that's
okay. I am like
recap.
9/10 of a waypoint behind right now, so you can't really give me that much shit.
That's slacking.
Which is the majority of the waypoint behind.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you were 0.4 a waypoint behind, all right, you're on top of shit. You're
hold on. As of right now, hold on. Now I'm only 7/10 of a waypoint behind.
Hold on.
But you're
Hold
still
on, wait.
behind.
I'm getting closer.
Dude,
I'm getting closer.
math is hard for us. What are you doing? You're God.
Look, I'm just making this shit up right now. All right.
I know you are.
Hold on. There's
We all are.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps. So I'm actually only 3/5 of a way behind right now.
Wait. I thought you said there were 4 jumps.
Wait.
Look, I just made a fucking number up earlier.
You know, this is what I've learned in life: is 4 out of 3 people don't know how fractions work.
There you go. That's truth right there.
Yeah.
I do have a funny story to tell y'all.
Oh, story time!
Okay.
Play the sounder.
Again.
So
I'm not doing it. I'll play. Hold on. I'll play this.
E.
Oh my God.
Okay. Go on with your story.
Sports. It's in the game.
Copyright strike. Shut it down.
Yeah. So okay.
Not all of them at the same time.
Like, I'll tell you when I knew it was like I was kind of ready to come back. All right. So I'm driving to work a few weeks ago, and I'm listening to the podcast, and like for 1 second, my brain forgot it was a recording. I started talking. And then I realized, oh shit. And then I sit there and thought about it. I'm like, all right, it's probably time I need to start dipping my toe back in, because that means I'm ready, you know?
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I thought that was funny.
Because you started talking to us talking. You're like, hey guys, listen to me.
Well, I can't remember what y'all were even talking about either, but I had something to say about it. And
Why
then,
are you ignoring me?
Yeah.
you know,
Like when your mic's muted and you just keep talking to people.
he knows me too well.
There's a history there.
I'm about to burn. It's hot.
Okay. So is it? Are we done with that topic now?
I'm done with it.
That was a topic.
Okay. Well,
Close
kind
enough.
of. I don't know.
Yes. Carry on. Play the next
that's what's
sounder.
going on.
Do it.
The next thing is going to have to be squadron briefing.
Incoming priority message.
Squadron briefing.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
It
Professional
sounded
sound
amazing.
engineer.
But I just want to make one point. In the show notes, you call it Squadron Update, and then in the show, you call it Squadron Briefing. I'm confused.
Pick a side, man.
Okay. I don't remember, but my sound is called Squadron Briefing, and I think that's what I have the voice say in the sound.
You do.
So apparently I just can't keep anything straight, so it's fine. It's, what do you want? What do you want me to call it? I won't remember.
So there's not much point then. Okay.
Call it Nurgle time.
No, we're not going to call it anything Nurgle.
Oh man, a new theme song is popping into my head now. I gotta go, you guys.
Yes.
So embarrassing.
You just wait.
Okay, I
I
don't mean to cut you guys off. This is the text message I just got from my wife. Well, wait, we never talked about my wife.
No,
we didn't talk about your wife's situation.
Okay. My wife
Chig,
is in the hospital.
how's your wife doing?
All right, let's back up. All right. My wife today at work got bit by a cat. Fuck cats. Edit that out. My wife today got bit by a cat and ended up going to the hospital because pus started oozing from the wound within. Well, let's back up again. She's a vet tech, so it's not like it's a random cat ran into Walmart and bit her. She's a veterinarian technician, so this is normal. She's around cats.
What kind of Walmart are you going to?
A cat. I don't know. The average.
There's some
Walmart
rural Walmarts.
Texas,
You never
probably.
know.
But she got bit by a cat. Like 4 hours later, the wound had swollen up and started oozing pus. So it was infected within 4 hours. So then they sent her to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. So then they wanted to look at the tendon, everything else. And she just texted me, after she's on intravenous antibiotics and everything else, because this is an infection that kicked in really quick. And they were going to keep her overnight. And I'm like, oh my God, my wife might be patient zero. Well, she just texted me, they forgot about me. Empty IV bag, bleeding into the IV line. Bed buttons don't work, so can't call for help. No pain meds. I disconnected myself and went into the hallway. That's the text I just got.
It's a good thing she knows how to run an IV.
I know, right?
They say medical people make the worst patients. So
I don't know how to respond to that.
So Chig, here's my take. Just if I can try to, I know you're probably feeling a lot of emotions right now. Let me try to reassure you. We were talking earlier before the show about how this is, very funny. Your wife's going to catch a zombie disease and you're going to have to, we're going to be dealing with a zombie situation. It's all going to start from her. But
yeah,
this is actually how a lot of zombie stories start. I mean, she's in the hospital and then people start suddenly there's nobody there taking care of her.
Yeah.
She's about to wait. I mean, she's going to pull a Walking Dead. She's going to wake up in an empty hospital. And it's happened, man. It's happening.
Well,
I think this is real.
My response to that text was, holy fucking hell. And her response was, I want to come home. You can do an IV antibiotics, right?
I mean, I can.
Well, she's already got the line started, so.
Yeah.
Things are getting weird. If the zombie apocalypse begins from this, we are on the front line, boys.
Tell her to just go to the supply room, grab a bag of D5W, and hang it herself.
It's going to be your job to prevent it from starting, actually.
No, I'm sending him to Texas. Yeah, I'm putting her on a bus to Texas.
You'll freeze solid up there.
Yeah.
Wait, you want to freeze the vaccine or freeze this whatever zombie thing until it just kills us all in the spring? I'm not sure.
No, we mean right now, like we're in the teens, and then in a few days we're going to be in single digits in Texas.
Dude,
wait, Texas is cold too?
I was 20 below zero this morning.
I mean, it was kind of cold here, but I wasn't expecting it to be cold in Texas.
Yeah, every like 10 years or so, Texas gets ridiculous. Gets confused with Alaska. That's what happens.
Yeah. Wow.
Huh.
It got down to 50
you
here.
have oil and you throw some coal down there, you guys would definitely think you're in Alaska. All right.
No.
All right, let's carry on. I didn't mean to distract that. That was just a random text I got in the middle of the show. This is an amazing show we're doing, by the way, isn't it?
So guess what, everybody? We here on the Loose Screws podcast actually have an in-game player faction, which you can join. Easiest way is going to be to come on down to Discord, and we'll tell you how to find it in the game, and then one of us will accept your application. And you can participate in all kinds of fun activities, like the ones Nurgle is going to talk about right now.
So
Sounds great.
Good start.
I don't know how to follow that. I mean,
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Well, you see, we have systems. Things happen in systems that we don't control. So, come on down and exercise your lack of control. Ross is threatening to expand again. We're trying to keep it down. The Latvian apocalypse is still happening in Kama. And we've got an election and 2 wars going on to fight in right now. So, but I was looking today. We last expanded from Ross right before we left on the expedition, which means we have managed to keep Ross in check for almost 4 weeks now, which I think is some sort of record for us.
Nice job.
While 90% of us are halfway across the galaxy, so what does that say when we're there?
It says we have a dedicated group of people that even if most of us are gone, we can still manage to pull some things off.
Yes,
and
but
probably that there is a background radiation of people who participate with us but don't totally follow the directions and just think run missions for Loose Screws at all times, no matter what.
No, that would never happen.
I know. It's just a little joke I made.
Yeah. But that's it. We're actually as calm now as we have been in quite some time, and I'd like it to stay this way until we pass Evelyn's light and start heading back.
So you'd like it better when we're gone?
No, I like that it's calm while we're gone.
Okay. Super.
Because otherwise, I'm taking medication.
I don't want to be over-medicated.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks for the update. And now I'm going to kick over and tackle some in-game news. There has been much going on in Galnet, especially to do with the whole story about the trial involving the Starship 1 sabotage. So to go through quickly, and then if anybody wants to comment on any of this, please feel free. Jupiter Rochester, who is the leader of, was the leader of Core Dynamics, has been implicated in the Starship 1 sabotage trial. And then the next day, Fleet Admiral, or sometime soon after that, Fleet Admiral Vincent was pronounced guilty. Then we had this little addition of the warning that was inserted by FDev for the warning of ship abductions by fleet carriers in response to the players' slavery issue.
And it is pretty neat that they made that canon.
Yeah. Yes. More on that after the break. And then Jupiter Rochester goes rogue from Core Dynamics, so he splits off and sort of forms his own faction called Jupiter Division and disappears with them to hide out in a permit-locked system. And then the takeover of Lakon Spaceways is declared illegal. So that's not going through, although Sirius Corporation has said that they have submitted a bid for acquiring them as a subsidiary, so something may still happen. Probably Lakon not going away still. And that brings us up to today when a community goal erupted. The Jupiter Division faction is now essentially being hunted, and we're trying to root the fugitive Jupiter Rochester to probably stand trial at the Federation. And so now there's a combat CG going on in the previously permit-locked system. Everyone in the game received a permit to that system today from the Pilots Federation, allowing them to go in and help You can fight for the Silver Legal Group, which is a federal-aligned faction that is fighting against Jupiter Rochester and Jupiter Division, or you can fight for Jupiter Division. And last I checked, which was many hours ago, it was something like 3-1 support in favor of Silver Legal Group.
It's about 2-1 now.
Okay. I'd prefer if this got more interesting, frankly. What are your guys' thoughts?
Can I?
By all
Go ahead,
means.
Nurgle. Go ahead, Nurgle.
I thought weeks ago I had a decent idea where this was headed, and then it took a 90-degree turn to the left and went off a cliff. So, I'm not even going to attempt to guess where they're headed. The interesting question is, so they've set this up as the Federation versus Jupiter Division. So we're pretty sure if the Federation wins, they're going to haul Jupiter Rochester in and put him on trial. So what happens if the Jupiter Division side wins? That's the interesting question.
I would love to know that.
Possibly new power play?
That's what I'm thinking, because there's this rumor that when they added the last power play that they had actually wanted to add 2, but they only added 1. And they're kind of setting this up, so it's interesting.
I feel like if I was there, and I can't participate. If I was there, like, I immediately thought, I definitely want to see where this goes if he succeeds in evading them. Because that's so much the more interesting part of the story than just he returns and is dethroned and jailed.
More factions.
Yeah, well, the other, from a BGS perspective, the thing that's slightly interesting about this all is that in that system, Jupiter Division is a native faction, while Silver Legal Group is not. And they were showing 3% influence today, while Jupiter Division was showing 46.6 or something. So we have a war between two factions that do not have the same influence and are nowhere near each other in influence. Now, I'm sure that doesn't matter because this was queued manually, right? On the back end, but it is like, it's a not normal situation. And I'm assuming like the thing that's going to end at this, the reward for the CG is discounted outfitting, I guess, something silly like that, discounted outfitting. And then eventually some participants get a permit to the system permanently, and then the permit will become available from whichever faction wins after this is done. So that's where this is going to end up. But like, if Jupiter Division loses, then a native faction will get kicked out of their system, from their home system.
I doubt they'll be kicked out.
You think they'd remain even if this is all supposed to be illegal stuff?
Has the faction already been renamed Jupiter Division?
Yeah. It's in the BGS. Look at BGS.
I would think that if they lose, it goes back to HIP 5430 Gold Group or whatever it was, and they haul Jupiter Rochester off to prison.
Yeah, when I read the CG text, I read it as they're fighting for control of the system, like Nurgle said. They'll still be there even if they lose Jupiter Division. I mean,
yeah.
Ty, what were you going to say?
Okay, so we've had a lot of things happen recently in Galnet, and it's all kind of tied around some things that kind of happened year 1, 2, and 3 with Elite and Galnet and all that. So this is what I thought while I was driving to work today, because I have an hour drive to work, so I think about a lot of shit. Where are they going with this? Is this just like news fodder to kind of fill the gap in between here and there, or is this just stuff for CGs, or is there a bigger story arc they're playing out? And
they did say they don't want fodder in Galnet, so.
Well, I mean, this is definitely stuff that's affecting it, but is it going to be part of a larger story when we get to Odyssey, or is it what they're ramping up for, or is this just filler until we get there?
Well, I'm sure some of them are just an excuse to do a CG.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to think, I mean, it's all been fairly coherent and tied together. I would like to think that there is some overarching storyline that they're playing out the parts of that's leading up to Odyssey.
See, so I had the same thought. So then my follow-up thought goes to, where are they going? Like, are they setting up for a full-blown war between Alliance,
the Federation and itself?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I almost kind of had the thought, are they in the process of splintering the Federation to being 2 factions, and then we end up with like this 4-faction weird thing, that way they can have a whole new ranking system and a whole new set of things we have to earn through that?
I don't feel like it's going to be another large faction like that. It would be more like serious corporation. Like, it's just another corporate government.
I think it's going to be a power play faction.
Probably not a superpower.
The quote from Jupiter Rochester is that the Federation is corrupt, and the only thing that is corrupted by bureaucracy, and the only thing that can save it is corporate takeover, essentially.
No, the only thing that can save you from bureaucracy is more bureaucracy. I can't say bureaucracy, but
I thought it was slaves. I thought it was slaves that save bureaucracy, that can save you from bureaucracy.
Boy, there we go.
Don't go there.
Uh-oh.
Do we want to jump on that topic again?
I mean,
not just yet.
The Empire's answer to bureaucracy is, we'll just enslave him.
Well, you weren't here last week for the whole player enslaving thing. Discussion.
I actually want to say something about it. Number one, I don't care who says what. If you're doing that to someone else to get them cornered into forcing them to do something like that, you're a piece of shit.
Hey, so I think we are going to circle back to that, because there's been new developments. But
I'll shut up on it then, because I have things I want to play on that. So
yeah.
Well, you didn't.
I'm trying to force that to the end.
Yeah, All right.
Let's move it on. Let's do a Chig Chat. What do you say?
Then we can get into more serious topics for sure.
Can I sing it? All right.
Live?
When to start?
Are you going to do a new one live?
It's a live performance.
Yeah, we're going to do it live.
Holy shnikes. Let me get my chair right. All right. You do you.
Yo, it's Chig Chat. Durper, Chig Chat. Durper, what a cheese at. Durper, Chig Chat. Durper. That's all I got.
Where the cheese
Beautiful.
Yeah, I screwed it up. I screwed it up at the end.
That's perfect.
That was like a crazy techno thing. Have you ever played Cyberpunk or something?
No. That was my 90s rap.
I love it. I'm gonna have a fourth Chig Chat sound now.
There's 4 of them now? Shit. How many?
There's gonna be. You just performed number 4.
Have I done that twice before?
Well, one of them I made, but the other 2 were all you, man.
Yeah, you're expanding the like. Oh,
you've got to keep "That's all I've got" on the end of it. It's the perfect segue.
Oh yeah,
that's all I've got.
All right, so what do we have for Chig Chat this week?
I don't know how I follow that. All right. We were talking in a lot of times for Chig Chat. What I do is what we're talking about in either Chig Chat channel or in general, and people are talking about stuff. And a couple weeks ago we talked about the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and those were movies that I've watched many times. And then we started talking about stuff where it's like, well, why would you rewatch a movie or a series? Because I actually started talking about how many times I've rewatched The Expanse. And then people ask, well, why would you rewatch that? You've already seen the ending. Well, why do you watch an instant replay in a sporting event? You've already seen what happened. Why do you need to rewatch it? But I run into this a lot in my household, and my wife is come over to my side of the argument, because she'll come into the room and it's like, what the? You're watching that again? And it's a movie, whether it's Braveheart, Princess Bride, Tombstone, whatever movie it may be. And I'm going to go with movies on this topic because you can definitely get into TV shows and everything else, but I'm going specifically movies. I want to know what movies you guys rewatch over and over and over again. A lot of us, sci-fi, obviously, many of us have seen Star Wars. I can't even guess 100 times, 200 times, how many times I've seen the original trilogy. But there's a lot of movies that, and what I've come to realize is and I'm old, Dubs will verify this. I am old, and I still will flip channels, sit on the couch, flip channels, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, John Wick is on again. I'm watching it for the 20th time. Star Wars is on, Braveheart, Tombstone, and my wife will walk in the room. It's just like, oh my God, you're watching this again? And I'm like, yeah, you already know what happened. It's like, well, you listen to the same song again, right? I appreciate the same things in this movie. I like the subtleties. And yeah, the greatest movies get better every viewing. And I want to know what movies you just cannot resist watching if you stumble into it. And it's like, yep, I'm watching it to the end at this point. Because, some for me, Princess Bride, obviously. Tombstone is my favorite Western. It's so good. And, I can get into details on all these, why I watch them again and again, because it's the subtleties of it. But what movie do you watch that no matter how many times you've seen it, you will fucking sit? If you're flipping along and all of a sudden TNT is playing X movie again, you start watching it from that point. And yeah, I'm not changing channels because that is what I enjoy. And that's what I'm looking for. What movies you will watch again and again and again. And at the end of the day, what movie do you think you've seen the absolute most times in your life? I mean, the average movie is about 2 hours. What movie have you watched so many times that you don't even want to think about the number of hours you've watched? So whoever wants to go first, jump in.
Okay.
There you go.
So I actually got two that, so me and my close friends, we have a tradition that sometime in the month of December and Christmas, we all get together and watch Die Hard.
There you go.
Yep.
This last year, we actually didn't do it, but we got together on a Zoom and watched it remotely. So that was kind of cool.
Nice. Good call.
It actually wasn't Zoom. We did it in Discord, but same. So
yeah, same thing.
And the other one, and this actually ties back to the Arnold Schwarzenegger question, is Schwarzenegger's very first film, Conan the Barbarian. I can watch that damn thing a bajillion times. That is perfect Schwarzenegger. That is one of the few perfect movies that are in existence. That's it.
Nice. I've got some. The movie I've seen the most, and we'll watch it over and over again, is The Big Lebowski.
Oh my God!
Good one.
The dude. Yeah, I'm a Coen Brothers freak, though. They're like, they're my absolute favorite directors in what they've written. I mean, have you seen what's that Netflix one they went?
Ballad of Buster.
Yes, Buster Scruggs. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I haven't watched that one yet.
Oh, dude.
The best part of it is the best part of it is the Tom Waits part. I love that part.
Dude, every one is good. I mean, the Liam Neeson one is just so heartbreaking.
Oh my God.
Fuck that dude at the end, right?
I can't watch that one.
God.
I can't watch that one. I watched that one. I'm not watching it again. It was awful.
Dude,
I mean, it was great, but it was awful.
I thought about going favorite directors, but you brought up Lebowski, so bring up Coen Brothers. Then I go Buster Scruggs. Coen Brothers, I will watch every... My character is Chig because it's Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. Enough said. that they are the quintessential directors of our time, in my opinion. So, yes, good answer.
Thank.
Didn't mean to cut in on you. Sorry.
Yeah, I completely cut in on you too. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I had a boner and
No,
I
who
got
else?
distracted.
It's for me. It's easily Princess Bride.
Yeah, Princess Bride.
I've seen Princess Bride more times than I can count. My wife and I both love it. I mean, we'll sit on the couch when it comes on TV and we'll recite the dialogue as it's going on.
Yes.
I mean, that movie is incomparable.
Amen.
And for me, of course, my wife hates it. For me, yeah, Die Hard. I love Die Hard. I'll watch it anytime it comes on. I just enjoy that movie like very few others.
We're at the coast. We'll have it. Yeah. So good. Who hasn't talked? Dubs and Data?
So I don't really watch movies to begin with. So unless my wife's watching it, I don't watch it. So I got
That's
no
your
answer for you.
Is you
No,
all right.
If I'm bored sitting around, like, hey, I want to do something to entertain me. Like, I'm not gonna watch a movie. I'm gonna play a video game or fuck around with something. I mean, I don't know.
So
I feel
what
like
does your wife watch the most?
Oh shit, I don't know.
Get her on.
Tasha. That means that's what you watch the most.
Yeah, whatever my wife watches is what I watch.
All right, Data, what do you got?
Oh man, I would say probably any of the 80s and 90s, the gangster movies, Goodfellas and Casino.
Okay.
Goodfellas and Casino.
Ty hates Goodfellas. That was on the show one time.
Okay, I'm not a very big fan of gangster movies in general, so maybe I should say that. So I'm sorry, Data.
That's all right. Don't tell Joe Pesci; he won't be very happy with you.
Not at all. No,
or he'll stab you in the face with a pen. But
it's a good chance of that too.
Yes.
And I will add that for mindless fun, all of the Marvel movies I can just watch.
Yeah, you can jump in at any time, for sure.
And I've seen all of them dozens of times. If one of them's coming on TV, it's like, yeah, I'll watch that. That's good fun. Which probably says something about the quality of the writing.
See, for me, it's the subtlety, it's the details, the subtlety that you watch. And when you watch, like, are you guys Tombstone fans?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. One of my favorite, when I tell people reason I watch a movie over and over again is in Tombstone at the actual shootout, the OK Corral, when they're sitting there and they're all staring at each other. They've got, they're all hands on their guns, but nobody is drawn. And the camera work, the cinematography that they do in the camera work is they look at each of their eyes and they're going from one of the Clantons and they're going to Wyatt Earp and they're going to Doc Holliday. And all of a sudden Doc Holliday winks at the one Clanton.
And it's go time.
The Clantons' eyes get big, the thing. And then Wyatt Earp, Kurt Russell also goes, oh, hell, because he saw what was going to happen. And then it just explodes. It's that subtlety of that scene that just, every time I watch it, I know I'm going into it. I'm like, oh God, maybe I'll see something I haven't seen before because it's so well made. And that's what it's about, is they perform it so well that, yes, I will watch it again because I may not have missed that detail for the first time, but I probably forgot that detail since the last time I watched it. And then I remember that detail and it's like, this is awesome. I love this. And that's great movies to me are rewatchable. And that's my number one criteria is when I rewatch it is the joy. I mean, people who get on people for rewatching stuff, it's like, how do you rewatch that? I'm like, okay, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Every time you hear that song, you've heard it 1,000 times. It's amazing every time you hear it. And it is probably better every time you hear it. And that's the thing, is it's what's your limit of entertainment length before you agree to re-watch re-listen, whatever, and rewatch it. And movies for me I was a movie snob in the 90s. I mean, I was doing Oscar parties and everything else because cinematography and writers and everything else. And I just fell in love with the subtleties of movies. And that's what I'm looking for is send me a movie that you've seen 50 times, 100 times. I don't know. There's movies that I'm embarrassed to tell you how many times I've watched just because if it's on, and here's one key to this. A great movie, if it's replayed on TV, I'm so old. I'm talking about flicking through channels and you're looking at the menus.
I was going to comment on that.
I know. You come across a movie and it's like, oh my God, and you hop in it in the middle. People don't do this anymore. For the longest time, you'd be flipping channels and you hop in a movie. Your best movies, there's sections at the beginning that you have not seen as many times as the rest of the movie because you never started from the beginning. You always join it in the middle, right? I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, you join it. It's 30 minutes in. It's like, oh my God, it's this movie. And you just watch it till the end. So you've seen the last half of that movie way more times than you've seen the first half of that movie.
Yeah,
this only happens to me at hotels. Because that's the only place where there's like cable, you know?
Too much information. All right.
It's actually kind of funny that you say that, Chig, because like when I said Die Hard, it was years before I knew how Bruce Willis lost his shoes.
I know, right?
Oh, really?
Wait, I had never seen it on VHS. I never saw it in the movie theater. Like I only saw it on TV when it would come on, and I was like, "How did he lose his shoes?" And then, like one day, I finally got it on DVD. And that's when we started the tradition of watching it with my friends. And then, that's how he lost his shoes. I'll be damned. So, anyway,
how did he lose his shoes?
He takes them off when he gets settled. He goes meets up with Holly.
The guy
that's
on the plane
right.
Goes to the bathroom. The guy on the plane
with his toes. That's right. Yeah.
So
and then of course it all breaks loose once he has his shoes off and he doesn't put them on.
Right.
All right. So further derailment of this conversation. Chig, what's your favorite line from Tombstone?
I'm your Huckleberry. Obviously.
Oh,
Dude, no. My fantasy football league team's name for years is the Huckleberries. That's literally that's
the best line in Tombstone is, well, bye.
Yeah.
That Yep.
I've seen the movie. You have no idea how many times I've seen that movie.
You don't have to tell me when he says that. Yeah. Ha, ha, ha.
For me, it's either I have not yet begun to defile myself.
Exactly.
Or apparently my hypocrisy knows no bounds.
That's a good one. My other favorite in that is like, "What, Ike? Whatever do you mean?"
Yeah.
There's so many. Maybe. Oh God. Maybe.
Are we cross?
Yeah.
Oh God. There's so many good lines.
And Val Kilmer had so many of them in that movie.
Oh,
Val
God.
Kilmer was in character the entire time he was shooting that movie.
That was the most, him as Iceman, him as the Saint, him in all the things he's done in his time. Him as Doc Holliday was fucking brilliant. That's one of my, let's jump. I hate to jump to something else with this, but I talk about, how many, a movie that you've seen a ton of times. I've also done this to people. It's like, all right, if you were stuck on a desert island and you had a generator, a DVD player, and a TV, what 5 DVDs would you want? Tombstone is one that is on my list. Tombstone, Princess Bride, and Braveheart. And then the next 2 are going to be tough.
Wow.
So, joining the podcast, as if by magic, Devo Looter. Hello.
Sorry I was late.
Yes. So no worries. We were just talking about what is the movie that you can't help but watch anytime you would stumble across it on cable television because you love it so much. And now that you're totally unprepared for that, and I vamp for maybe another 3 or 4 seconds, what's that for you?
Well, do people still watch cable?
It doesn't matter in the context of
We
this
discussed
conversation.
that
They
already.
do.
Quit making fun of old people.
No, I'm old. I don't. I mean,
cable.
It's a state of mind.
I don't know. Has Scott Pilgrim started showing up on cable yet? I'll watch that.
All right.
All right.
Can I move him to another channel?
Yeah.
What,
You
did I
may
just
not.
ruin the entire conversation?
Devo ruined it.
Scott
It's a good
Pilgrim
cue.
is your choice. It's a good movie. All right.
It's a good movie, and it's a good cue to maybe jump on to some other discussion topics for the podcast. So here's the things that I had written down as possibilities to talk to this week. I'm just going to sort of hit this quickly. I think this first one, because I think the second one is probably better. But the thing was, each of the last 2 podcasts, I realized a day or 2 after we recorded them that we completely ignored the previous week's question and answers posts that kept coming on Fridays. And I kicked myself for it the first time. And then the second time I noticed that we once again ignored it. And I thought, is there a reason for this? So, like, why don't I care very much about these and enough that it has 100% faded from my memory after 7 days? I mean, there is the fact that it takes 7 days to come around, right? Because they come out just a couple of hours after we release this podcast. And then the next set comes out. And by the time we loop around, I don't know. I mean, so what do you guys think? Just quickly, like,
Well,
what is the main cause of this, if you had to put your finger on it?
Well, can I quickly ask these questions? I must have missed them. I don't know if they're listed. Are they interesting?
This is okay. So this is the
There's the root of
replacement. Yeah, that might be the thing. So this was, for a while they were doing these quote unquote AMAs on the forum, and they were, shall we say, less than satisfying. They were filled to a great extent with, we don't have any information on that right now.
Right.
Maybe we'll get back to you. And so this was the replacement, and they started this 4 weeks ago, maybe. Each Friday, they are going to answer, they're going to come back from the devs with actual answers to questions. And they're going to be rounded around a specific topic each week. So, you know, this most recent one was about first footfalls on planets in Odyssey. All the questions had something to do with that. Okay. Well, this is the thing. Like, are they interesting? I was thoroughly unsurprised by the answers, and except that the only thing that surprised me was that they would bother to tackle the topic of first footfalls without first having an answer for the question of what's going to happen to what is being done BGS-wise about consoles considering the release delay. I thought it was
you have to read between the lines to get that answer. The answer is exactly what you expect.
Tough nuggets.
Yeah, pretty much. Which, whatever. I mean, but also I didn't consider at the time, you know, that any planet that already has NPCs living on it, obviously you wouldn't get first footfall.
Right.
So who really cares about all this stuff out in the black, I guess? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to lose any sleep because I've got a 6-month delay behind you guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so like I said, I don't know if this is a good discussion topic or not. It was just something that popped into my head, and it seemed slightly profound at the time, but that was kind of before several other things happened. So any other thoughts?
Well, I think yes or no. If there was something interesting in those questions, we'd talk about it.
Right.
It sounds like you're absolving me for forgetting.
Well, no, I'm just saying that if last Friday there was some totally unexpected and wild news that came out in those Ask Me Anything questions, we would be talking about it tonight because it would still be interesting. It would be impactful. The fact that most of us can't even remember they put out a list of questions last week really tells you the value of that information.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's curated questions.
Right.
They cherry pick these specific things and even reworded them so that they can make it specific to what they're allowed to say and what they're trying to keep a secret. So they're not going to be revealing anything really earth-shattering with this information that they're parlaying. So, no big whoop. Footfall stuff really isn't that all too exciting, quite honestly. It's just a little trophy for you personally.
Sure.
Sorry. Woof. I sucked the air right out of the room.
That's fine.
No, look, I don't mean to take the piss out of it. If you're looking forward to all the first footfall stuff, cool. Then that good for you. I've never been one to try to get make a list of planets that I've landed on or scanned first or any of that stuff.
Yeah, I just see. I mean, there's been 4 AMAs released, with these curated questions so far. I just see them as, kind of more routine information.
Right.
Not big, groundbreaking stuff, because, for that, they're going to save that for their ads, their trailers.
Right.
Or their dev diaries that they're calling.
Yeah, I mean, it's just information that to keep the hardcore players like us mildly interested without giving us any real interesting stuff, I guess. So I mean, it's not our fault that we're not so interested in this stuff that we're not talking about it, I guess.
And I definitely like it. I like this more than the regular AMA format where they couldn't really answer 99% of the questions straightforward. At least you get some distilled content here.
Keep in mind that this is actually more curated than that AMA format is. They've got time to sit down and think about this.
Which is why they're allowed to answer them.
Yeah, which is also giving them plenty of time to word it so that they say nothing.
They're giving some answers. They're just not profound questions.
Yeah. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
You're right. I think it's like everyone agrees that it's a better format than the AMA situation. It's not turning out that there's a whole lot of extra stuff that we can be fed, but at least we're being fed it in a slightly, okay, so this is boring instead of frustrating.
Sure.
That.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think you should beat up on yourself because you're not talking or not wanting to talk about this stuff, because the truth is it's not exactly newsworthy, but it is information that we can at least, add to the data bank. But we shouldn't be required to chat about it if it's not interesting.
Plenty of good summary videos put out by YouTube channels out there.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem with the whole thing is every other show talks about, we have YouTube streamers, we have Astro and Burr and Wotherspoon and everybody else covering the newsworthiness of this. And by the time we record on and by the time we record on Thursday, we've heard most of this. And I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I've yawned through most of it over the course of the week. So getting an entire discussion about it by the time we record our show is like, why?
Well, there's one difference. Between us and all the people that you named is they have to create content because it's part of their income.
Right.
So they will report on everything just to get a video out every day.
Yeah, and we're not getting paid for shit.
Yeah, so. Well, I'm not getting $1 for this shit.
Yeah, we're showing up, we're sitting here talking, and we're enjoying each other's company, and hopefully our people listening to the show are enjoying us just discussing this.
Sure.
And that's the biggest thing is we're not a news disseminator by any means. And if there's some news that comes out, we talk about it. But a lot of these Q&As are just, well, duh. Will I get night vision on my headset? What? Well, maybe. Who gives a fuck? I mean, honestly, I don't mean to downplay it, but it really is. That's not what we are. We show up, we talk about what we think. If people like to hear it, hey, thanks for listening. We're not getting paid for this. We're just having fun. So
yeah, the other news sources are better news sources, and that's fine. And they have So okay, when something comes along that we actually feel like discussing, we'll be able to. And I guess I shouldn't be bothered about it. So
we're not a news source; we're an opinion source.
There's enough of us on this show that if you put together your show notes, that we're like, how could you not talk about that? We would say, dude, why are you talking about that? We honestly, I'm not going to say we don't care, because I love that you put in the work for the notes, and then we talk about stuff over the course of the week. And literally, when we start doing this show on Thursdays, most of what I'm talking about is what people have talked about in Discord, that seem to interest them. And we've shifted from newbie content to less newbie content, everything else, depending on what we're seeing in our community. And me and you both know that's why we do this show, is for our community. Yeah. And people that want to come join us, they're fine, and we're discussing what they care about. But at the end of the day, we're not aggressively trying to expand our influence or anything else. We're just kicking back, talking about a game we like to play.
Right. That's actually pretty salient because, like that, now that you say it that way, like that does pretty well exclusively guide me now that I think about it. We have steered one way and the other, like you said, more toward new players, more, and then less toward new players, depending on what's been going on. So when stuff has to become news and then also bubble up through Discord before I'm probably gonna leave it on the note sheet by Thursday. So that's interesting. But I'm gonna actually bounce now over to this other bit of business. So we talked a bit last week about the player slavery business, and I know we've been recording for a while already. We don't have to spend a ton of time on this, but the story has continued to evolve, and I think and I know Ty wanted to say some things about it, but unfortunately he had to step away. I don't exactly, once again, I'm kind of caught in this place where I don't exactly want to just rehash everything. And there is a certain aspect of this that is a little bit rumor-ish. And I think there are some things that are pretty solid, but there's enough of it that is surrounded by people accusing other people of lying, that I don't want to put my nickel down too hard. But here's what I'll say. For one thing, first of all, I haven't been surprised by anything that I've heard since the initial bit of news. However, there were some new things. There was the pilot did an interview, and he posted on YouTube
with a moron
that goes on for
basically
an hour,
yes,
with this guy who reports to be a ringleader from this organization that was enslaving new players. And first of all, I think if you're interested in this, go and watch it. I think the pilot did a pretty good job of being fairly journalistic about it. He definitely had some points that he wanted to get to, But he let the guy say anything he wanted to say, but he didn't let him do it unchallenged.
He was definitely democratic because he obviously was dancing around, not offending the guy to keep him on there talking.
And he worked very hard on not trapping that guy. I felt that's where he was. He wasn't like, wait a minute, you just said what? Now you're saying this?
He called him when he called him on each bit of sort of contradictory language, and
hypocrisy.
Of which there was a lot. Was a lot. I felt like basically every point the guy came in basically saying, "Listen, you haven't heard my side of the story. It's not really like that." And here I'm going to dispel like all the lies. And then every single point he would say, "No, really, it was like this." The pilot would question it, and then he would later admit, "Oh, well, yeah, it really was like that, but I still think I'm right." And that's pretty much how the whole thing went, in my opinion. So I'm not surprised by that. The guy's a raging asshole. The other bit. So I'm just gonna plow through and then just to try to stay slightly organized, and then we can sort of circle around and get everybody's opinion. The other bit was, and I think this happened after that interview. He had said in the interview that they talked, that everything was fine, no rules were broken. They also said that Discord talked to them about a bunch of racist stuff that was going on in their server, and they were asked to purge that stuff, and now they have a policy of not being racist. So that's very fun. But then later, and there's a few videos and magazine write-ups and things outlining this, later it comes out that basically, apparently, these people have now been banned to solo. They are banned from open, they are banned from private group, and they do not have access to their fleet carriers. And there are screenshots of emails. So that's people who would have the ability, hopefully, to find out, seem pretty convinced that these are real. That's about as far as I can say because I haven't investigated it myself, but it's interesting. And I think it has to do with the age of some of the people who were enslaved. So in my opinion, at the end of the day, I have a slightly more nuanced opinion. I still think that it is cool that this game allows things like that to happen through emergent gameplay. I still kind of think that they should be allowed to do this stuff, except, this is the new part for me, except that because we can't do anything back to them, not really. Even if we go there, we can try to rescue these people, but they can still try to, their targets are people who aren't in contact with other players yet. So there's nothing in the game that we can do to actually combat this, and therefore, emergently it can happen, but emergently it can't be policed. And that's why I kind of regrettably have to say, well, I guess it's right for them to be banned then. Unfortunately, FDev puts themselves in the position of having to police this because they don't have a system in which we can police it. And then my only other takeaway was from that interview, the way the guy talked about organizing his player group, saying, being myself, I'm part of this Loose Screws player group. The way I approach it and the way he approached it could not be more different. I was astonished to hear the way he thinks about it. He wanted, we need to find people who have just got the game and don't know any better yet so that we can use them for our profit, because what I don't want is to spend time teaching somebody how to play the game and have fun in the game and become good at the game if I'm not getting some profit out of it for my group. And that floored me. I thought, oh my God, the only thing, the main value I find from this group is to have people that I can have fun with. And it's so alien to think about that. So those are my takeaways. Whoever wants to go next, I am going to mute myself.
Well, three things. One, completely agree with Ty. If you're one of the guys who is doing this, you are a world-class asshole. Two, on the off chance that one of the people that was a victim of this is, you know, a member of a community and is listening to an Elite Dangerous podcast, if you're still stuck in this, reach out to us. Someone can get a fleet carrier out to you. And 3, Trax nailed it. I mean, the problem here is not that this was allowed to happen. The problem is that the community has no way to police this. I mean, we can't even name and shame the people involved. And if there were some method for the community to handle this, it would be much better for the rest of the player community to do more than mount a rescue.
Okay, I'll jump in second because I am in the exact opposite of Nurgle on this, and I love Commander Nurgle. We're friends. I would consider him a friend. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think this is so fucking overblown. It blows my mind because literally, a new player could be taken to another system. They're offered credits to buy this ship, to go do this, to go mine for somebody else. They go out to the system, they start mining, and when you're early in this game, millions of credits seems like a lot. You don't realize it could be hundreds of millions of credits. You don't even realize that you're getting fucked. Now, if you realize you're getting fucked, wait a minute. You were given the credits to buy this mining ship, and you're getting millions of credits. You say, fuck it, you suicide winder back to the bubble, remote sell your ship because you probably don't have engineering it at this point, and you're actually ahead of where you were before you went out. Now, you can say, this is, yeah, but these dicks did this to these people. Yes, but they weren't slaves. They could leave at any time, get back to the bubble, do what they wanted, and everything else. And if they were out there, okay, earning the credits they were earning, yes, it was far less than they knew that they could earn, but they didn't jump in and research to figure out, am I getting fucked? The whole thing is just, it blows my mind.
They specifically didn't know, I don't think that it's a Greek tragedy here.
Yeah.
I just think
I know
on the level of
I know you don't.
What do we? But on the level of since we're analyzing it, what is the real problem in the game? And I think the problem is that we can't police it. I think for one thing, the people who were taken on this scam were specifically coached by these people. It was cult-like. They were specifically coached to not talk to other people so that they wouldn't learn how to get out of it. Yeah.
But literally, when I first got this game, I was like you, Trax. I researched it, everything else, and I'm like, okay, this is a huge learning curve. So when I first got the game, I started, researching this and that, and I was doing the tutorials. And the first time I got out of the tutorials, I jumped into open. I'm like, I'm an experienced MMO player. I'm going to jump in. I thought I was educated. The very first time I left a station, I had some asshole messaging me. I'm like, literally, I'm 20 seconds into the... And when I say literally, because I get pissed at people who don't use literally correctly, I was literally 20 seconds into leaving my first docking, that wasn't a tutorial. I had somebody messaging me. I'm like, and I was messaging him, I'm like, dude, once again, I'm like, I have literally left my first station. Let me just go to another station and see how this goes. Oh, I'll help you out, blah, blah, blah. And this is 2.5 years ago, when I first started this game. So I don't know if it was somebody who was trying to scam me or not, but I was like, I want to learn how to play this game. Leave me alone. And then I went to solo because why am I being messaged? And then I ran away to solo and I played solo for a fucking year. A whole year of this game I played where I did not get involved in community. And I think that's sad because that's once I really loved this game as well. honestly, we'll get into that. It's a Chig Chat down the line when I fell in love with this game. But I ran away from open because some random dude was texting me. I wish I'd have written that down that night. This player that was texting, in the system chat, trying to talk me into joining his group and everything else. And I literally, because of playing other MMOs and stuff, I assumed he just wants me to join his group so he can see where I am and he can come fucking kill me. That's what I was. I'm like,
a safe assumption, probably.
Yeah, instantly. Yes. Alert was up, stranger danger. And I'm like, this guy's going to come kill me. So I went to solo and I was so pumped to just jump into this open galaxy, how big it was and everything else. And this guy being so pushy, trying to get me to take candy from his van, that I ran away and I went and played solo for a year. So, there's that side of it where I just don't have sympathy for people that fall for this shit. But then again, I hate assholes that manipulate people that way. So I'm that way, but at the end of the day,
you sound like someone who's not had to.
What were these assholes doing? They were giving these people a bunch of credits to come.
They were giving no, Chick. I'm sorry. Like, they were giving them nothing. They were tricking them.
No, they were tricking them, but they were giving them the credits to buy a new ship when they went out to the system. Then once you're stuck with that system, you can say, all right, I'm just going to suicide winder back. And if you don't know what that is, that's really that most basic of functions in this game. Don't fly without a rebuy, because if you do, you're back in your basic sidewinder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just saying.
So, who else wants to weigh in?
Chig seems super passionate about his stance.
Yeah.
And I'm wildly on the other side, and I don't want to.
And that's what I said. Devoluter, when I started, I said, I know you guys are on the opposite side, and I'm fine
not
with
by that much, though.
Jump in on that and tell me what you think. I'm not going to get upset.
No. I don't mean to. I'm very much the polar opposite. I think that Frontier had a decision to make on, do we want to let this go and just keep an eye on it and slowly eke towards an EVE Online sort of experience where scams are okay to do as long as they don't break our rules, or do we drop the ban hammer? And they went the way that I would have went. Look, the behavior was gross, and part of me held out in my mind like, well, maybe they're role playing and maybe they're probably not terrible dudes. But then you listen to that interview on the pilot's YouTube channel and it's like, yuck, this guy is the worst.
No, that dude's a fucking moron. If you get fucking scammed by him, that's on you, dude.
I don't think that's fair. I mean, I don't need to swerve this podcast into like, hey, let's talk about victims and abuse and shit like that. But
right.
I don't think that's the right stance to take. I remember how lost I was when I first started this game, and I studied it for, weeks. Like when you first start out, you're like, I don't know, how do you put down the landing gear?
I agree. I
did not know about
many times.
Yes, and I did not know about Suicide Winder, and I probably would have fallen prone to some sort of trick like this. And the guys and the people who we speak of seem, he seems like the perfect. Look, that fleet carrier was the primer grade van with no windows, and 7 million credits is the perfect amount of candy. But if you're basically giving you a build for an ASP or whatever that has no frame drive on it, he's just getting you in the van. I don't like it. I think it's disgusting. And I'm not pro it being supported. I don't think it was inventive for the same reason. And I know I'm not somebody who likes to throw in comparisons to Nazis or any of that stuff. But look, it's the same reason why I don't, give Hitler the thumbs up for his flashy fashion sense. You know what I mean? I don't think what these guys did was cool at all, and I think they got exactly what they deserve. I think this Roach guy was a real piece of shit, and I wish I knew him in person. And I'll leave it there. And good on the pilot for putting that out there and being diplomatic and trying to.
He tried.
He let him hang himself. Yeah. I think he did a good job.
I mean, you could tell on the pilot's face, just with every look, like, whoa, this guy's saying some pretty dumb shit, and he just let him go. And the guy turned out to be the worst and just completely full of shit. I mean, in every single way. Hey, it's not slavery. It's not slavery. Yeah, and then eventually, all right, it is slavery, And then you should see all the names of all our ships are all named after actual slave ships. And it's like,
you can't compare this to Nazism or true slavery. It wasn't.
Right.
No, he was using that metaphor differently. But,
I know.
But. Okay.
Right. No, I'm absolutely with you. I don't like that sort of rhetoric. I think it's kind of lazy, but I do think this guy and his entire cast of people were pretty gross.
And I still don't believe that this guy is any kind of ringleader in. I
don't know that was ever said. He was mentioned as being someone of importance in the group. Yes.
He was among the group that was on this one Discord that was doing what they were doing. That dude was too fucking stupid to tie my shoes.
Well, let's say he says he's 25 years old, and he acted like he was 17. Quite honestly,
that's generous.
Or younger.
I don't think age matters. Let's go.
I mean, quite honestly,
he was a fucking moron.
Well, but look, I'm 42 and I'm quite wise. He spoke of someone of ill intelligence and a level of intelligence that I can't even comprehend, because the entire time I was like, I always wondered what kind of person is, comes up with these really like, how bored do you have to be like, hey, let's get a bunch of people on our fleet carrier and make a like, I could never even fathom some stupid shit like that. I was disgusted at the whole thing. I wasn't sorry to lay this all out. I wasn't here last week.
I'm still not even convinced this is fucking a real thing. This whole thing is over-reported and ridiculous. I can't believe that there's that many people that fell for it that didn't.
From what we can tell, 18 people were rescued.
Yeah, look, if Odyssey came out this week, we wouldn't be talking about it. But there's,
it's true.
Talk about footfalls.
True story, my man. No, you can't.
Data and Tubbs, do you guys have any thoughts that you want to put in here?
So, I don't know if I believe that the right answer was banning them to solo.
I agree.
Or taking away their fleet carriers. I mean, it is a video game. They were playing it, and I don't think they broke any terms of service.
They did
unless
not.
Frontier got their feelings hurt because possible customers were chased away. I do, however, believe that their in-game names and all that should have just been put on blast. Let the community deal with them. Like, I'm not saying dox their real-life names, but let us know who they are in-game, and we'll go fuck them up.
Amen. Yep.
I'd have changed the names of their carrier to Slave Ship and set a flag where they couldn't rechange it.
Yeah.
I mean, no, actually, you make a fantastic point. I mean, perhaps,
let us take care of it. Yes.
I laugh at the idea that there was a year that went by where we didn't have any Galnet news, and here's something that's actually newsworthy, and it should be like, there's a slave operation. Attention, all pilots! Bring your fleet carriers and save some bastards. I'm fine with that, but
I don't want to overlook data
penalized.
saying mob violence.
Yeah, but
data just presented that as an option. Yes.
If the mob violence just results in their rebuy screen,
well, that's
they have to deal with it. They have to deal with it for
there
weeks.
Isn't a solution.
This whole thing.
No, there is a solution.
All right, what is it?
Well, no, that's it. I'm offering a solution besides the one that already took place, which is the banhammer. But look, if you say, oh, there's a slavery operation in HP, whatever it is, yeah, one rebuy screen, no big whoop. But rebuy screens for weeks gets old.
Yeah.
And I really hate the entire concept of this, because you could come out, and I think back to when I first started this game, and earning a few million credits here and there seemed like a ton of fucking credits.
Right.
And if you're a new player and you're earning a few million here, a few million there, you don't feel like a slave. So yes, these assholes were manipulating these people, but at the end of the day, it's not fucking slavery. That's the term that kills me, is they were not enslaving anybody. At any point, you could...
You're right, it was indentured servitude.
It wasn't even that. If a quick Google search, oh my God, I'm trapped in a system. How do I get out of this? And it's like, self-destruct. Take your Sidewinder, and you're back where you were. It's not like it was a massive puzzle, this great enigma, how to get yourself out of this.
Can I ask a question? What do you exactly put in that Google box? I am a slave. How do I escape?
I'm an elite dangerous slave.
I have a question. I'm sorry. I don't say what you got to say.
No, carry on.
I was going to say, mildly related. If this guy Roach was a decent human being and he's like, we're just role playing and having fun. No, I'm saying if he was, would you think any differently? Because that's the question I'm asking myself. Like, would I lighten up on this guy, or the fact that I think that he's kind of an evil dick?
So what you're saying, if Jan Trax, our precious leader, was the guy who said, I've got these guys mining for me, what do you guys think? Would we think differently? No. I'm like, Trax, you're still a dick, but I'm at the point where I just think this is so massively overblown, and it's not outside of the terms of service, outside of the EULA. There's nothing that says you can't do this. Convince people to mine stuff for you is what this is. They
seem to think that it violated the rules on the grounds that it was a scam. I think that they decided that was against their rules by the screen caps of the emails that we've seen.
Yeah, how so? Elaborate.
Well, I actually haven't read the EULA, so I'm not going to elaborate, but it's up to them to decide and enforce it. So I'm going to say, since they're the judge on this matter, it seems like the judge has decided it's against the EULA.
Well, I think that Roach dude hung himself because, there was word that, they had been reached and they've been told, we're just monitoring you. But within 24 hours or whatever after that podcast, the word is that, they're done. And it's because the dude talked about, the fact that he withheld information. He go, all they have to do is ask on how to leave and we'd let them go. And it's like, well, what do they need to? We just don't. They don't tell them. They don't tell them.
Yeah,
I know.
And they actively try to put a stop to people who do tell them too, because that's the other thing. It's
they get rid of the smart ones.
Yeah, he said get rid of it. If they see somebody, they had some code word for it. Like if they encounter somebody who's asking too many questions, they say smart guy, and all their people know we're actually just going to put that one out to pasture. We're not going to bring him on the carrier with us because he'll poison the apple barrel.
I'm going to say something that's going to be so controversial and
please don't.
Now, at the end of the day, though, we're just protecting idiots. Google exists.
I'm sorry. Look, if they're the equivalent of, I'm not saying that they are minors. I don't know anything about that stuff on, whether there was a 7-year-old or whatever. I don't care about
either, but there's morons at every age. Come on.
Fair enough. But everyone who starts this game, everyone who starts this game is essentially a child who doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
So it's no fair to call them, hey, we're helping idiots. No, they're not idiots. They're people who were just like us when we first started.
Yes. And if I'd have accepted help from somebody and then hopped in their fleet carrier and gone out, and it's like, you need to mine these things. They bought my ship. They gave me the credits to do this, and I'm selling those void opals or whatever it is to their fleet carrier, and I'm making a ton of credits. I mean, I'm making millions of credits. I'm not making hundreds of millions of credits, but I'm making millions of credits. Oh my God, this is great. Look how many credits I have when I get
I don't think they were making millions.
They weren't.
They weren't. Yeah,
10%.
They were.
Yeah.
They were. Yeah, they were buying for 10% galactic average or something.
They were making fuel wages.
So no, they were still making. No. Let me just cut in there real quick because galactic average would be 100 million credits. If they were making 10% of galactic average, that's 10 million credits. That is still millions of credits.
But they weren't allowed to leave until they've earned 200 million on their own.
Yeah. Let me try to frame this in such a way, because like taking your argument that these are
my argument. I mean, Chig.
Dumb. Chig's argument that these are dumb people. I
was not calling them dumb. Ignorant. Ignorant is not
that's
stupid.
A better word.
Yeah.
So let's say that these are just new people who don't know how to do it. We are not watching them bang into an asteroid and laughing, right? We are watching them be guided by somebody who says, hold on, let me show you how to avoid that asteroid, and then says, okay, point your ship here and boost and turn off your shields first. and you know what I mean? So we're watching someone, they're not they're not letting somebody who doesn't know otherwise make mistakes. They are causing mistakes, and they're doing everything in their power to funnel these people into the mistake and then keep them there and not reveal to them that it was a mistake. Every single thing was done to try to prevent people who are probably not dumb from figuring out that this is what was happening to them until it was too late. And some of them may have been very young. And I don't think there's any way to make that seem like it's the same as it's just somebody making a mistake in a game and all they have to do is go to Google, because it's a lot more complicated than that from the perspective of this person. How are they going to know that they need to go to Google? They just...
Ignorance is bliss. That's the thing. These people were scamming.
But that's the thing. It's not ignorance, though. It's they're actively being guided by somebody. Somebody is giving them information. Now, if you went to Google and Google said, boost into that rock and turn your shields off, and that's all you find, like that's the analogy here. They went to Google. They went to these people saying, here, I'm going to help you. And they proved it. They put like 7 million credits up and said, here's how you build a keelback. Put the size 1E frame shift drive in it, please.
Right.
That's what they did.
More cargo room.
But that's right. That's where
now your ship will be lower heat or whatever lie they told.
Even like Astro from Down to Earth Astronomy, he flew around all these systems. You know, he reset one of his accounts trying to find somebody. I don't know that this is.
They're on Xbox.
Actually,
they were all on Xbox. He couldn't find any of them. Of course he couldn't.
Holy Christ. So there's like 7 people on Xbox.
When was the last time we talked to Hate?
Which is perhaps that's another part of the issue, because you have literally the platform with the lowest population in the game, and the new players who are coming to that platform and trying to find people to play with, this is what they're met with instead.
And after listening to this guy on the pilot, realizing that it's the biggest morons in the world trying to scam the biggest newbies on the planet, it's killing me. I don't know. It just
okay.
Well, let's not talk about it ever again. Good riddance.
Yeah. No. We can
let's
definitely discuss it. It's fun. It's
I'm
it's
saying
interesting. The thing is no.
I agree. No, I think we shouldn't give them any more
experienced, and we need to try to remember what it was like when we were new. And most of us do, how difficult this game was.
Yeah.
And we need to remember that. And then people jumping in, what would we do as players right now to try to scam somebody? If I don't even want to think about that, because our community is so good. We help each other. As a whole, the elite Dangerous community is one of the, actually, it is the single best community I've ever been a part of. We help each other. There's more people to help than fuck people over. Yes, you're going to have assholes screwing people over. But at the end of the day, this community, the vast majority helps. And if you look for help, you're going to find help. And that's where we're at. So this weird little drama that we have right now, there's a small bit of it that it seems like this is bullshit. This is just being made up to draw attention to this website or this website. But there's also the side of it. It's like, well, we got to help new players. But then you start thinking about, well, what are they actually being hurt by? It's this. There are multiple levels, and I understand why our many different content creators are drawing attention to this, why FDev is drawing attention to this, and why it is what it is. And most of us who have been around the game forever just can't see that. Well, we can see how a newbie would be drawn into that. And it's like, but then again, at the end of the day, it's not that hard to get out of that. And I don't know. I'll quit talking now.
Okay. In order to put a bow on this, let's run around one more time. And I would like to. I don't want to argue about it anymore or anything. But what do you think the correct solution to this would have been? Whether you agree with banning them, whether you think there should have been something else done. So let's do that. Let's start. So Chig, have you said exactly what you think should have been done? Nothing.
I at the end of the day, I think them removing people's carriers and banning them to solo was an overreaction, because they did not really violate any terms of service. They did not break the EULA, in my opinion. And last week we laughed about it a little bit. It's like, honestly, at the end of the day, salute to you. You guys found creative use of game mechanics. And that's where I was. Now, for them to all of a sudden start banning people, especially listening to the pilots episode, these people are not smart people. They just, they're rotten. Legit, they're just dicks. And there's honestly, I find ganking somebody at Ducat way worse than this.
I feel the opposite.
Okay. So what do you so Chig, though, what do you think is the solution? Do you think it doesn't need a solution?
Yes. I honestly don't think it does. I think it's overstated, and there's thousands of people playing this game, and there's some people that may have been affected by this that if they took the time to Google and figure things out, they would have been free. Would I do this to another player? Never. This is bullshit. These are assholes and they're scumbags. But I don't believe that it's happening as frequently as they say, and I don't think that they're really breaking any terms of use. All right.
Okay, so Devo, what do you think solution?
Jeez, I honestly don't care. I'm fine with the both things that were mentioned. The fact that they were banned, I'm okay with, just because I find their behavior abhorrent. And I'm also fine with the idea that we could have or that they should have did a pilots federation alert and to keep an eye out for fleet carriers with these names, and there are pilots that need your help. I would have been fine with either of those.
Let me cut in just for 1 second again. I know I'm an asshole. I keep cutting in. I'm going to say what FDev did with the Galnet alert to alert people of this. That was perfect, because that's what it was. Just, hey, pay attention, be alert. I don't think actually banning people was right.
Well, my final word is, I think that and I've said this before, earlier that FDev had a decision to make. Do they allow this sort of stuff to continue unhindered and eke towards the EVE Online type of open game, or do they want to go a different way? And they chose a different way, and I appreciate it because I don't want to play a game where scamming is allowed.
Dubs?
So I don't believe they should have been banned to any particular game mode, such as solo. They shouldn't have lost their fleet carriers. The Galnet article should have called out every fleet carrier and fleet carrier owner that was involved, along with their squadron,
and shame,
and disable their ability to report crimes in game, because this is something that the Pilots Federation would probably not condone.
And
I like this Dubs
Nurgle.
guy.
I kind of fall.
What do you got?
I'm kind of on Dub's side with this. I mean, my reaction, if I were FDev, I would not have banned them. I'm okay with it, but it would not have been my choice. I would have preferred to see it handled in Galnet, name and shame them. I would not have taken their fleet carriers away. I would, like I said earlier, have changed the name to something like, known slave trader and locked it or something like that, or, Twinkle Fairy Unicorn or something.
Yeah.
But in the end result, no terms of service were broken. They were just flaming assholes. There needs to be a way for the community at large to deal with this, which is what we don't have.
Exactly.
Don't forget, they should lose their ability to turn on report crimes because they're big dickheads.
That would be good too. Yes.
Yeah, Data.
I think it's an awful, terrible thing. It takes a depraved mind to come up with something like this. I wish the game was different in that it would allow them to face some consequences from other players. But within the way the game is set up now, I'm fine with the bans for doing something terrible like this. And I think we keep saying they didn't break the EULA, but Frontier does have grounds to ban them based on their terms of service and their code of conduct. If you read the Frontier Development's code of conduct, they get into talking about providing friendly and welcoming atmosphere for users, and they have a section under their behavior and communications code of conduct that mentions scamming.
Yeah.
That's prohibited under the terms of use, which this is definitely a scam. So I think they got grounds to ban them for sure.
Right. Yeah.
If they pulled this at Shinra to Desra, I'd be impressed.
Yeah. Well, right. That would be a totally different thing, wouldn't it? So I guess for my part, I feel like they had to do what they did. It's the only possible solution because they did break the terms of service, like Data was pointing out, and they don't have a better solution because of how they frame the game. I love this stuff about, naming and shaming. I have never agreed that that's the right policy for this game, but nevertheless, it is the policy. And I regret that we don't have a way for the game to emergently handle stuff like this. There is nothing of true consequence. And you say like endless rebuy screens. Boy, would they have to be massively endless before they would have true effect, wouldn't they? So I guess I end up feeling that I very much regret that I think that was the right move to ban them and take their carriers away and prevent them from being able to scam people like this in the future. Because they did. And yeah, so that sucks. Oh, well.
Sayonara.
Yeah, sayonara. And maybe hopefully we won't have to go into this crap next week. That would be ideal. I hope we never hear from those clowns again. So.
Well, I have a good feeling that they'll be in EVE if anybody listened to that pilot episode. The guy got really excited. He's like, scams are allowed over there?
It's like, well, well, the trouble, as they described what goes on in EVE, though, the trouble is it's allowed, but there's also a lot of in-game emergent consequences to it.
You can blow up your fleet carrier.
If fleet carriers could be destroyed, then that would be it. We just have a CG, and it would be a CG that lasted 3 minutes because holy cow, if we could truly cause consequences to other commanders for things that are just a rebuy screen, man oh man, nothing like this would happen.
My fingers are crossed. Sorry, my fingers are crossed that this Roach guy starts up an EVE Online account and is tricked into someone's van.
Space van.
Oh my God!
He'll never see it coming too.
Rape people.
Oh man. Okay.
He's like, oh yeah, I'll take this money. I'll help you mine. Oh, what have I done?
Okay. So we need to tie this show up, and I'm going to close it out with a couple of things. One particular thing just was shared in our community. The Comfy Cannon Cruise is being hosted by Commander Mephisto, and that's spelled lvlePhisto. He told me how to pronounce it because the LVL is to look like an M, right? It's clever, and I wouldn't have known that otherwise. So thank you for that pronunciation guide. So he's set up an itinerary in a Google Doc. I buried the lead here. This is going to be a fleet carrier tour of the Cannon Challenge locations. So anyone can come along and join and take on the Cannon Challenge, which goes all over the galaxy and fills your codex. The possible discoveries. There is an itinerary, and he set up a Discord server for it for discussion as well. And I'll have links to that. It's leaving on the 14th of March and plans to take between 4 and 5 months. So if you're interested in the Cannon Challenge and want a comfier way of doing it, try the Comfy Cannon Cruise. That's the last bit of news I have. I feel like we've been recording forever, but I haven't looked at a clock, so I hope that's just my impression. Chig, do you have it in you to talk about a cheese?
What kind of cheese?
Just what is on your mind right now, cheese wise?
Oh my God! all right. Yes, I have a cheese, and Ty's triumphant. Ty's triumphant.
Are you drunk?
Return. Oh, I'm drunk as fuck. Hell yeah. I've been drinking all night, man.
It's Thursday, man. It's Thursday.
Oh, I see.
It's Thursday. What cheese is best when you're drunk, Chig?
No. This is the cheese that I'm going with. It's because
he's getting there. He's getting there.
Oh my God.
He's not as stinky as you drunk he is.
Nowhere near.
The cheese.
All right. Tonight's cheese is Kraft Singles. You guys may say, hey, American cheese has been a cheese. That was Ty on 4th of July weekend when I was not on the show. So I'm throwing American cheese in this Kraft Singles. An amazing cheese. It is processed beyond belief. If you don't like it, fuck you. It's the best cheese on the planet.
Jesus. It's pretty stiff.
You want stiff.
I got another soundbite I've got to clip out now.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Thanks very much.
Oh, no.
So, Chig, since you tagged us with a dad joke at the start of the show, does that absolve you from sticking one at the end? Or are you going to hit me with a cheese joke?
You really doubt I would have a cheese joke ready if you wanted one?
I'm sorry, man. I didn't catch half of those words.
Hey, can I interject with...
All right. Hey, everybody calm down.
All right.
Why do you bring a bag of chips to a party? In caso emergency.
Oh. Oh, God. That's terrible.
All right.
Diva, what do you got?
I quickly want to mention to all the PS4 brethren out there that I'm looking to probably start organizing a weekly, we'll call it a social event, whether it's a Sidewinder, Slaughter, or whatever. And if that is something that you would be interested in, I'm going to start it up maybe in 2 Saturdays. I think like a Saturday night deal where we all get together and do various activities. Sounds like fun to me, since there's a lot of new people in the squadron. still. So if you're hearing this, reach out to me. Let me know if you're interested. Saturday nights, not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday. I'm giving people more of a heads up that Saturday nights we'll be doing PlayStation themed things.
Right on.
You're not coming over to my house.
We can put that in the events channel in Discord too.
Okay.
All right. That's going to do it for the what?
Sorry, I was going to say, reach out to me if you're interested, either via the PSN or on Discord. Thank you. Carry on.
Oh, I forgot about PSN. Yeah, see, that's all invisible to me.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. That's going to do it for the Loose Screws podcast. Thanks, Chig, Diva Looter, Dubs, Data, Nurgle, and Ty Worsham briefly for joining me. And that's it. Stay loose, fly screwy, try not to crash into a rock.
Or crash into a rock.
Yeah, or do it. All right, good night.
Cheers.